Good morning, Grade 152. We're going to go over our summer curriculum teams that are beginning next week, and what our objectives are for summer curriculum is we're going to review the timeline for standards and performance indicators for curriculum development. We're going to analyze and evaluate the standards and construct explanations how they'll impact curriculum and instruction. We're going to analyze and interpret performance indicators, and we're going to unwrap those standards, and then we're going to evaluate the South Carolina Standards support guides. Curriculum teams, why are they here? They're viewed as a positive leader, expert. They're nominated by their principals. They're going to serve as a representative and collaborating with colleagues. So they'll be your point person for any issues or concerns with your curriculum maps. Again, we'll be committed to attend all designated curriculum team meetings. That we're going to have these ongoing throughout the year, and willing to implement the Greenwood 52 curriculum into your classrooms to provide input to the curriculum teams. Now, first we're going to start off with some data-driven decisions. Why are we doing this? We want to make sure we want to improve student achievement. That's the number one goal. And we also want to set goals for the year. And I think some goals that we can set for this year is moving our overall school report card rating. So a goal for the elementary school would be moving from average to good. A goal for the high school would be from moving good to excellent. From Edgewood Middle School, getting back to that good rating. And where I'm coming from, just trying to move that school forward. And that would be our goal for this year, is to improve our school report card rankings. And we know that 80% of the school report card ranking is academic achievement and the growth of our students. We're going to make sure we have a lot of students meeting and exceeding expectations on the South Carolina College and Career Readiness Assessment in math and ELA. Again, some more data-driven decisions. We're starting with ELA. As you can see, a 3-year trend data over the past 3 years with our third graders, and they're doing a really good job growing and molding their students. We're up 6% from last year. You see fourth grade ELA, they have 55% of their students are meeting and exceeding expectations on the South Carolina College and Career Readiness Assessment. And this is where we come in. So fifth grade, you can see there's a hole here, and we're going backwards a little bit. So this is something that the curriculum teams will be looking at and see if we have alignment with our instructional strategies and resources that the standards that we're teaching, because we have to respond to the red. And ELA 6th grade, down 2% from last year, but again, we'll be responding to the red and coming up with some more innovative strategies to make sure we have more students meeting and exceeding expectations on the South Carolina College of Career Readiness, and this will, of course, make sure that we have more students on the college and career readiness track. Our 3-year plan for curriculum development. Again, we're going to begin with creating pacing guides and unwrapping standards. Okay, we're going to provide PD for instructional strategies as needed based on data. This will be ongoing throughout the year. Following year, we're going to continue creating pacing guides, unwrapping standards, and we're going to create unit organizers and instructional resources. Common assessments will be coming, and we'll be starting those this year. And then year 3, we're going to continue improving our craft and making sure that every subject area, including related arts, has some form of pacing guide in Rubicon Atlas. Speaking of Rubicon, this is what a finished product should look like. Hopefully by the end of the summer, we will have pacing guides especially for math and ELA in every grade level. And this is a pacing guide this is 6th grade math from August until May. And when we have a pacing guide with unit organizers, unit calendars, the first thing that they'll hit is the number system right here. You have your CFAs already embedded in your curriculum map and pacing guide, so teachers know when that common formative assessment's coming up. Every 4.5 weeks, we'll be doing a pulse check to see where students are. When you click on the unit organizer, you can see the unit overview, prior knowledge. You can see the standards that need to be covered before the CFA. You see the standards that need to be covered before the first benchmark. What I really like about also the pacing guide is creating a digital calendar where you can see what standards should be covered each day on the curriculum map and the pacing guide. So again, this really organizes us. It shows teachers, administrators, coaches where we are when we enter your classrooms. It shows you where you are, if you're on pace, if you're ahead, or if you need to back up a little bit. It just really gives us a great direction for the entire school year to be organized and to make sure we have good pacing going on throughout the year. So current status of the standards, the ELA Standards Review Committee is this year. We have full implementation of new ELA standards the following year. We have new standards in 7th grade social studies. This year will be our bridge year, and full implementation the following year. And the support document for materials for standards will be available it's a great resource on the state website. And this is a link right here on how to access all the state standards by subject area and grade level. But the standards define what all students are expected to know and be able to do. Content standards describe what students should be taught over the course of the year. Kind of gives us a roadmap, and then we're going to break those standards down and unwrap them. Standards indicate the performance that should be accomplished at the end of instruction. Again, students should be engaged in multiple practices throughout instruction of all core content. So we have to have differentiated instruction going on, where teachers are pulling small groups. There's a technology station, creation collaboration station. We have to expose our students to a wide variety of resources and strategies, because all students don't learn the same. So we have to tailor to their needs and making sure that we have a 21st century blended learning classroom going on each day in our buildings. Standards versus indicators. Of course, this is a earth science solar system. This is a 4th grade science standard. That's why 4E3 earth science and third part of the standard. And with this overarching standard, you have what's called indicators. And these indicators even break down the standard even more. It tells us the students need to develop and use models of the Earth's solar system. Okay, so that tells us that, tells me hands-on activities. They have to actually develop something and model what the Earth's solar system is all about. So that's where we get into the unwrapping of the standards when we see the standard, and then we're going to break that standard down into teacher-friendly terms, and then from that unwrapping standard, we'll be creating lesson objectives. But unwrapping the academic content is a proven technique to help educators identify from the full text of the standard exactly what they need to teach their students. Unwrapping standards provide clarity as to what students must know and be able to do. So that's what it's all about. It's all about providing clarity. Standards are very hard to read and interpret sometimes, so hopefully with our assembling a K through 12 vertical team, we can help each other out and provide clarity when unwrapping the standards by content area. Unwrapping the standards contains 3 parts to unwrap. The first part is concepts, what students must know. The second part is the skills. We're really going to focus on skills, what students must be able to do, developing those models and having DOK level 2 and level 3 going on in your classes. Identify, create. And cognitive rigor, the level at which the skill must be applied to the concept during instruction and assessment. So again, we have rigorous assessments that take place in South Carolina. We need to match that with rigorous instructional strategies put into action. Sample template to unwrap a standard that we'll be using over summer curriculum. Basically, we'll get the standard, we'll break it down into concepts, what the students need to know, what skills they need to be able to do, and the level of thinking. Get into that higher order thinking skills, because we know if they could reach that higher order thinking, they'll be able to produce artifacts that shows the teachers that students are mastering that standard. And this is what we'll be doing. Again, we won't be doing this alone. We'll be doing this together to make sure we all are unwrapping standards and we all are having clarity as to what we need to teach to our students. From unwrapping the standards filters down into learning objectives. And this is deconstructing the standards. After that, we'll be writing learning objectives. We'll be selecting standards. From the content standard, we're going to make sure we're going to identify the skills, the concepts, and the context. And then we're going to write those LOs for daily lessons. A learning objective is a statement that describes what students will be able to do successfully and independently at the end of a specific lesson, okay, of your instruction. So at the end of a lesson, students should be able to add fractions using models. As an example of that. Again, it breaks it down into daily learning objectives, break it down into daily items, daily tasks that students need to accomplish by the end of the class period. We use I can statements too. It's the same thing as a learning objective, making sure students can develop models to describe the direct transfer of heat through conduction. It's a science standard that they need to master. And it's all about student achievement. It's all about, we're going to start with the standards. We're going to unwrap the standards. We're going to prioritize and vertically align the standards because there's a lot of standards out there. I think ELA has about 180 standards, so it's very hard to teach those standards. But we're going to spiral the standards. We're not going to teach standards in isolation. We're going to combine those standards, making sure we identify those power standards and make sure we have alignment with our instructional resources and strategies. We're going to prepare our pacing guides. We're going to identify vocabulary, gather resources. We're going to create formative assessments, plan model lessons. With all this taking place before August, the end result by May is increase in student achievement. And again, it's all about student achievement, curriculum. It's a spiraling system that never stops. It'll never stop. As educators, we will always continue to develop our craft, and it's all about continual professional learning. It's all about constantly growing because we learn something new every day with teaching and learning. Another sample template here on how to break down the standards, the priority, the supporting indicators, the vocabulary. Again, these are all things that we'll be doing in summer curriculum teaming. Things like this, creating and deconstructing the standards. Again, it's all about student achievement, lesson importance, curriculum writing process. We have our system now. We're going to house our pacing guides and curriculum map with Rubicon Atlas. It makes us break down the standards and deconstruct them into CUDs, which is know, understand, and do, what the student needs to know, what the student needs to understand, and what resources are they going to do to master that learning objective. And then lesson plans and learning objectives after. So review the curriculum support document. Again, go to the state website. That could be your first step. Look at the standards and learning. Click on the standards and performance indicators for science or for your subject area. A great resource that the State Department came out this summer to help with remote learning and summer learning is right here, this website, South Carolina Remote Learning, developed by teachers at the State Department. It's a really good resource to use. I really check that out. It's got a lot of great things that are aligned to state standards. Just click on that link and it's very user-friendly. Just go to teachers. If you're a middle school teacher and you want some resources, you're a math teacher, and I'm looking at 7th grade math right here. Again, it breaks it down by standard. Here's the number system. Here's what it's addressing. Here's the tasks that it's created for you. Again, let's not reinvent the wheel. If things are already created for us, we want to look over it. We know it's aligned because it was created by the State Department and teachers in South Carolina. And just to see if this is something that you would want to implement in your classrooms for this year. Again, check out this website. It's a really good resource to use because it has alignment. It's broken down by subject area, by grade level, and it really gives us a lot of ideas on how to deliver these rigorous standards. Instructional units, putting the pieces together, this is what we'll be creating. We're going to chunk the instructional units into 4.5 weeks. We'll create those common formative assessments through Mastery Connect and iReady. We'll have those district-wide benchmarks that'll be taught through pacing guides and Rubicon Atlas. And we're going to begin dumping resources into Google shared drives. The curriculum team will go to their shared drives, and we'll start with ELA. And once we have our resources by grade level, we'll dump them in here, and then from here we'll put these in Rubicon so everybody in the district can access all of the resources we're putting in to summer curriculum teaming. And moving forward, basically what action can I take immediately? Again, look at your support document, look at your standards you need to teach, start diving into Rubicon, just taking a look at it. Hopefully by the end of the summer we'll have it airtight, so your subject area and grade level, you'll be ready to access that and to follow it along through the year. And what do I need to learn more about or do next before I can move forward? We're all in this together. It's going to be a collaborative process, and I'm looking forward to working with the summer curriculum teams and all teachers this school year. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.